people of Earth. This is the Bloody Screen Podcast with our review of Xcom, Enemy Within. And I am Brandon. No, I just do that the entire review. Yes, hello. I am part robot, part alien.
Robot alien. Duh.
Yes. Robot alien. Yes! Actually, funny enough, they do have robot aliens in this game. So, woo! I am Brendan, I have with me Nick and Jack.
Let me say hello! Hello.
Yeah, Jack totally interrupts Nick. We're talking about Enemy Within, made by Firaxis Games. This is basically a full disc expansion of the original XCOM, Enemy Unknown. So, yeah, people don't think you're getting a full game, but guess what? They're not charging you full game price for this. So before I get started, remember people, this entire review, that this game is only $30. So, it's quite a deal, actually, if you think about it. Because you're getting like the original XCOM mixed in with all this other XCOM-y goodness.
I never played the original XCOM, so I had no idea what was different until you're like, oh yeah, that wasn't in the first game.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you everything that's not in it. But first, let's just talk about XCOM for a little bit. XCOM, people, it's a turn-based strategy game, which, you really don't see any of those anymore. I mean...
That's because people preferred non-stop action.
I agree.
Fuck strategy. Let's just go hack and slash. Guns blazing. Bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang.
Why can't we just have both, Nick? Why can't we have, like, a good steady...
Because this isn't a taco shell commercial.
Taco shell commercial?
Yeah, oh, we need them wide so we can sit them up. No, we need them skinny so we can eat them. Why not both?
That is very true. Yeah, I am in that boat, though, because I like both types of gameplay. I like the ones where I can run around going, ah! And then I like ones where I can...
How are you supposed to make that into a turn-based strategy?
What?
The guns blazing turn-based strategy.
No, I was saying I like games that are guns blazing, but I also like games where I can be a slow-paced, turn-based strategy. And,
those ones are a good way to waste a lot of time.
Oh, hell yeah. And then you feel really badass for some reason when you have a strategy that just works out perfectly. When you're just like, holy shit, my flanking maneuver really kicked ass. This game, it's actually unlike a lot of turn-based strategies. A lot of them, when you think of turn-based strategy, you kind of think of maybe, Fire Emblem or something like that. And you're like, well, and I'm like, those...
It is a lot like Fire Emblem, except in the future with guns and aliens.
Yeah, it's really cover-based, turn-based strategy, because honestly, if your character's out of cover during this game, they're kind of fucked. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You're just making them an easy target. But you got, so the story to this is aliens are invading. And where you're this kind of under government entity known as XCOM, and you guys are supposed to keep it under wraps, but also, try to save the world and stop the alien invasion. Why the military doesn't want to get involved is beyond me. Maybe they just can't.
Because the military doesn't have super soldiers.
Well, true. But when you start out, neither do you. So, depending on, you actually get more story, people. If you people really want to play the story, I would highly suggest doing the tutorial. Not only will it give you kind of the basics on how to do things and what to do, but it also kind of explains a lot more. Because I kind of play without it because I played the original, so I really knew what was going on. And they really don't they do have that little things where they kind of introduce every character, but honestly, they just kind of let you do what you want to do. They don't try to shoehorn you into you, like saying, no, you have to do this. I mean, to progress through the story, you kind of have to do certain objectives, but honestly, I'm in my current story I'm doing, I'm yet to even build the arc thing that, to stun the aliens.
That's like the first mission.
I know, I'm yet to do it. I'm already doing like a very complicated, missions now, but yet, I don't even see the insectoids anymore, the Paul-looking guys. Those guys aren't even in the game anymore because
those are the ones you kind of need to capture.
I know. I progressed too far into the game now, but I'm going to continue to play because I'm doing pretty well.
Maybe you can just beat the game without ever doing any story missions.
I'm
Just
kind of
eradicate
curious.
all alien life.
Because they keep giving me, the council keeps giving me missions right now, and the missions are all different with different
Granted,
objectives. What?
never mind.
Okay. Which is actually different from the original game. From my experience with the original game, the only time you would get these different types of missions would be if you were doing the story-based missions, where you were like, oh, now we have to go take on the alien homecraft or whatever. No, there's the leader, and take him out. Wait, it's not over yet type. That was the only time you got these different missions. This new one, this expansion they actually the council will give you specific types of missions, like, oh, go investigate this town. What happened here? Or, hey, we need to put these transponders on this train just so we could destroy this enemy warcraft that's going to be, invading. So, I do appreciate that I don't have to really stick within this rail-based thing. It's a very open game. What was your experience with this?
It's it's a really in-depth and complicated game.
Oh God.
Because not only do you have to keep your soldiers leveled up and going, but at the same time you have to make sure every country in the world is happy.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes that means making the tough decision between getting 4 engineers on an easy mission on a country with 1 threat level, or getting, $200 on a very difficult mission from a country with an extreme threat level.
Yeah, I agree.
Because in my game experience, I actually lost South Africa.
I actually lost South Africa as well so far.
Oh, well, fuck South Africa.
Yeah, really, fuck South. They're the first ones to pull out. I haven't had anyone else pull out. And a lot of people are like, hey, what's going on here? And I'm like, hey, I'll get to you in a minute. But it is that one thing where you see, it says, mission, very difficult. And you're kind of in that level where you're like, I really don't want to send. I kind of want to go to this normal one.
I've done a few very difficult missions, but honestly, when I did them, they weren't that bad for me because it was the Paul looking dudes and just a shit ton of them. So I was like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay, if it's just a shit ton of those guys, that's not those guys are the easiest ones to kill because they have 3 life and and that kind of gets into this whole thing where XCOM really has a lot of aliens to deal with, and they added 2 new ones in this expansion. They added a mech type alien, which is really big and probably really tough to kill. I'm yet to actually see them. I don't know if did you ever see these mech aliens?
Nope.
Yeah.
The biggest I saw were the muttons.
Oh yeah. They have those. And then they have the stranglers, which are these octopus-like, invisible. They can turn invisible. And anytime I see those, I keep my troops all in one little circle and just put them on Overwatch because they're going to be dumb enough to actually show themselves, and then they get they get 5 troops all shooting at them at once. So that's their own damn fault.
And even if they strangle you, everyone's there in a circle to take care of it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If they miss.
Which kind of drives me nuts because sometimes this game still has that one problem where it kind of drives me nuts. Where your troops have a percentage that they can hit people when you say, okay, attack this target. They have a percentage. It mainly rounds around 50 to 60 to 40 to 60%. That's usually the range they're at. And it kind of drives me nuts though when it's at that 60%. Or I had even a couple times where they're at 80% and they still fucking miss. And
Dude, I had someone miss. Point blank range, 98%.
Oh,
they fucking miss.
It drives you off the fucking wall. I'm smart enough where I won't take the chance, especially in the later levels. There's a few little strategies that people should use. In later levels especially. Never take the risky shot. Oh, if it's under 50%, don't take it. Just, put them in Overwatch and play out what happens. And then, it kind of drives you up the wall when it's at 80 or 90% and they still fucking miss and you're just like, how do you miss that? But they added this new thing called Meld into the game, which was not in the previous ones, Nick.
Oh.
Yeah, Meld is something new. Meld is this component that you can use to upgrade your troops even further. So you can upgrade them in 2 different paths. You can upgrade them the super soldier path, which I find actually better.
That's because it gives them special abilities.
Yeah, you give them special abilities. Abilities like better aiming, they get the ability to heal themselves in the middle of combat,
ability to jump 3 stories.
Yeah, jump higher, take more damage, to be honest with you. And they recover faster too if they get injured. So, I really like that path. The other path is the mech path, which I've seen that path, and that path's kind of ridiculous because you literally turn your character into basically a hulking robot with a little human head on it. And it looks kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's kind of cool in its own aspect because the mechs kind of you can give them, they all get a Gatling gun, and then they get a choice of a flamethrower or a robotic hand that can, punch through walls and shit. So,
see, but the problem, you think with a mech, they would give them like a targeting system to really increase their aim, but I doubt they do that.
No, not to my knowledge, they don't.
Exactly.
And also the mechs can't get in the cover.
Yeah.
They're too damn big now. So basically they have more health, of course, but, in the later levels, a single enemy could take out like 6 to 7 to 8 bars of health at one shot. So, you may give them 20 bars, but, they can't take that much punishment if
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I stick with the super soldier path, where yes, they have less health, but they can also they can use cover, and I think the cover mechanic, like we said, very, very important. Story-wise, I don't really know what the story is besides aliens invading, you need to stop them. I mean, that's basically the whole thing.
That is the story. Stop the aliens from invading Earth.
Yes. I actually kind of made up my own stories though there, Nick. I don't know about you.
Did you make yourself the Men in Black?
Not really. It was more or less just, mine were just a bunch of ragtag. Mine was like a Dirty Dozen story where, in order to even get a name in my squad, you had to actually be a squatty.
Oh no, that's what I did too, because I didn't want to take the time to make someone who wasn't going to do anything in life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd have rookies, and if they leveled up, I'd just give them a last name because I didn't really feel like dealing with a first name. I just gave them a last name, and I did not create us. I actually created like video game characters. I'm like, I had Max Payne on my team. I had Laura Croft. I had Agent 47. I had, and then I threw some comic book characters as well. I had Steve Rogers, Iron Man, and Tony Stark for shits and giggles. But
now I gotta ask, did you get the Chinese dude you can't modify?
I did get Chinese dude I can't modify. He was just the Chinese dude I can't modify. Yeah, that is also part of the new expansion is now you have human enemies as well. I haven't yet fought them, so.
Oh yeah, nah.
Are they hard or are they pretty easy to kill?
Well, the thing with the Exalt, the human enemies, it's the one I did, which failed the game for me completely. Because they killed all my troops, but it's basically you send one person in who is acceptable to this covert mission, and all they get is a pistol. So like that leaves out heavies.
Yeah.
But all they get is a pistol and no armor.
Oh my god.
And they go in and do their thing for a few days, and then you have to go extract them, and then you send in your normal team, and you have to protect your person, your covert operative, from the Exalt enemies while they disarm or like they gather intel around the map. And then you have to extract everyone back to the ship. But at the same time, it's endless wave of Exalt.
Great.
And they, they're humans, so they have like all the same, they can heal each other and all that shit.
Oh god. Well, that sounds like a new fun enemy. I'm not quite there yet. I don't really know what you have to do in the story just to get there.
I don't know. It's just at some point they just introduce covert operations.
Huh. So that's also something new because that definitely was not in the original. They did not have any human presence in the original, really. It was just you versus the aliens. This game is pretty challenging, people. We really have to hammer that down real quick. Because I can't tell you that, the first time you play it, you're probably gonna fuck up. There's a 95% chance you're just gonna totally dick cheese the entire thing because you messed up on, say, instead of, doing the right stuff, basically. Cause you gotta make sure that you're getting enough satellites over every country. You have to get enough interceptors and
yeah, but you also need a lot of money to do this.
Yes, you need money to do this, which requires you do missions. And sometimes, like we were saying, sometimes you can't do the mission you want to do, and then you need the right amount of scientists and engineers to be able to make all this shit.
Honestly, you could probably a lot of times you could just say no, I'm not doing this, and just say yeah, fuck you guys. You guys got this, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know some of your people are being abducted, but I'm just gonna keep searching for a few days, see what comes up.
My favorite thing though, and someone made this point with the original game though, and it still makes me laugh, is like, when people pull out of XCOM, it just kind of makes you think, what else are you gonna do? Do you have, I'm sorry, like South Africa, do you have your own XCOM, alien fighting group? I mean, if you do, by all means, we should team up, but you pull out of us and now you're just fucked, aren't you? So and of course you play as a lifeless role of a commander. You don't have a face, but you could give, I actually find the most fun of this game just creating the troops and I kind of get attached to these voiceless motherfuckers. Where I'm just like, you get someone up to a rank of captain or something, you're just like, I do not want them to die.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because like when I had my high-ranking officer and then that Chinese dude guy Zhang or whatever, I never had them in the mission at the same time because I didn't want both of them to die and lose my two highest-ranking officers.
Oh yeah. I actually kind of do this weird thing as well where I'll put, my highest guys are captains. I have like 3 captains. And I'll put only 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, a sergeant, a corporal, and a rookie. That's I kind of do this weird military thing where I'm just like, we need 1 ranking officer for everyone. So that way everybody can be in there, so that way I actually have a leader out there and then they know what they're doing. So, and is that the best strategy? The lieutenants and the sergeants can basically cover themselves. The corporals and the, squaddies and stuff, they're I need them to level up because I really don't want to, see, the biggest thing is like, how, describe to the people how you actually lost at XCOM. Because technically you can't lose, but in a way you can.
I lost because, it's hard to keep money in this game because you have to keep building shit. So I had like $3 in my bank account. And, or credits or whatever,
Yeah.
I guess, technically. But, I had $3 and I went on that covert mission. The last of my troops all died. So I had no reserve soldiers left over and no money to recruit more soldiers.
And that's how you fail.
Yes.
Because, the game will never say game over. Actually, there's a few things in the game saying you could turn off the, you could basically, there's like a hardcore mode where you can't, you could save, but, you can't go back to the previous type. It's kind of a weird thing where basically this game does have permadeath for your troops.
Yes.
So, there's a way around it to dick cheese it out where, if you lose a soldier,
which you did.
Like, I know, I haven't done it.
Well, you did back in Enemy Unknown.
Enemy Unknown, yes. So far, no. I've only actually lost 2 troops. I'm pretty proud of myself right now.
Oh, see, I lost 2 troops in the first mission.
Oh, well, actually no. My first troop I lost was like a sergeant or whatever, and he was pretty badass. He was one of my super soldiers. I was really sad to lose him. And the second one was some rookie I took on a mission. He got, he was turned into a zombie, which, yeah, zombies in this game as well. And I fucking hate those things.
Oh, yeah, cause, they're not armored, but they have so much fucking health.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of health, and then they also have a hell of a lot of movement.
Yeah.
And then,
They're run zombies.
Yeah. And
they're not those George Romero slow walking ones. No, these fuckers are fast.
And the fuckers that turn you into zombies, those crab-like,
They're crystalloids?
Yeah, the crystalloids. Those things, well, the best strategy I could tell people, bring super soldiers, because super soldiers are immune to their poison. So, it's the best thing to do. And I bet mechs would be immune to the poison too. But,
it depends on how you level up that super soldier.
Oh, well, so far I've been leveling up pretty much all the same. I kind of give all my super soldiers everything, so. So you got that, and then,
I guess I never found the one that makes you immune to poison.
Yeah.
Unless it's just the crystalloid poison.
I don't know, because,
the Slender Man dudes, that's mostly what killed my super soldier, was she got poisoned, and then, cause I didn't see the cloud of poison smoke where I killed one, and I rushed her up there to get to the transponder on that train mission.
Oh, yeah.
And she got poisoned.
Yeah. And that's something they've also added to this new expansion is a timed mission essentially. Because you only have, like, say, the train mission we mentioned. You only have 10 turns, like, complete turns of you and the enemy going to actually get, like, I think about 4 transmitters and then start the train before the mission is just failed. And a zombie one I did where you had to, like, basically investigate what happened in this little, like, sea shanty town. You know, you have as many turns to investigate it, but once you activate an airstrike, you only have, like, I think you have 8 turns to get all of your men out of there. Believe me, it's a stressful
I didn't even get far enough to start an airstrike in that mission.
Oh God, really?
Everyone died before that.
Oh damn. Yeah, it gets stressful as hell. But like I said, I managed to get everybody but one troop out, and that was the rookie, just because, I basically made him make a sacrifice. He was surrounded by those crystalloid things, and I just made him take a grenade, throw it at his feet, and get 3 of them at once. I mean, he killed only 1, but injured the other 2, and then they ended, and, he basically killed himself, then they still turned him into a zombie, so I was like, fuck. Alright, yeah. So this game is really awesome. This is one of the few strategy games even out on a console, and I think they did it really well, because most strategy games come out on a PC. Yeah, I think it's just easier to, strategize things with multiple keys. When you have, I will give PC this one thing. With strategy games, you kind of want more buttons for it, because then you don't have to, you don't have to pull up this radical menu and all this shit to move your troops. But, I've played many strategy games on the console and they work just fine, so, whatever. So, and this one, this is like the only turn-based strategy that even came out this whole generation. Cause, can you think of another one?
Civilization.
Oh yeah, well that's more of an RTS strategy in my opinion.
I don't know, I mean, you move, you wait for the other people to move, and then you move again.
No, okay, alright, I'll give you that.
I mean, hey, it plays just like the board game we played that failed horribly, except a lot more smooth because it does everything for you.
Does everything for you, and it's not so cheap where it's like, well, since you're attacking the home, and, doesn't matter that you have a bunch of tanks, they have like 2 tanks, but you're attacking the home, so they get like plus 20, Fuck that Civilization game. But anyways, back to XCOM. Let's see. Are we missing anything? I think we basically covered all the, oh yeah. One last thing. Basically, this kind of just turns into Brandon's tips. Make sure, for the love of God, you level up in the weaponry. The scientist is gonna be like, well, I think we should really invest in, like, doing, no, fuck, don't listen to her. Listen to me. Make sure you get laser weapons, because they're fucking useful as hell. Make sure you get the Caprese armor or whatever, because that's also useful as hell. You upgrade your troops, because it makes the missions a hell of a lot easier. One of the games I basically failed, kind of like Nick, I only had a bunch of rookies left and they can't do shit, was because I was listening to the game, and the game was like, oh yeah, we need to do this and this, and I was putting all my resources to what she was telling me to do, instead of in weaponry and armor and now I guess super soldiers. You gotta prioritize according to the troops. It may not make you, the game's gonna take you a while longer to beat, but in the long run, it'll be way easier. I do also believe this game is easier because of the super soldiers and the mechs, because in the original, you didn't get any of that. You were able to eventually unlock a robot that was able to fight for you. Instead of soldiers, you could actually send a squad of robots out there and kill aliens.
Which, who cares if they die? Yeah, that's their point of living.
Exactly. That's kind of the whole thing. I heard someone who actually unlocked those. A friend of ours, he was telling me, like, yeah, I didn't really give a shit if those things died. For some reason, it's really kind of almost a psychology thing. It's just showing how, if you have the ability to create your own troops, how much more attached them you are. Because honestly, if they just gave me a bunch of generic troops that I couldn't customize at all, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, alright.
But when you make like Scott and Dustin, you're like, Dustin, no!
I know, especially when you make people you know.
So young.
When you make people and you're just like, no! I'm not gonna give up on you. And you actually send a troop into the heat of battle just because they're a medic and they can bring their ass back to life.
Breathe, damn it, breathe!
I know. Breathe, clear! It's really that great thing. It just really enhances the gaming experience. Honestly,
like for me, when I have rookies I don't know in there, I'm just like, yeah, go fucking just go.
I send those assholes as scouts, for God's sakes. I'm like, you're a rookie, you need to earn the ability to.
Like the second episode of XCOM we have, just those two random girls, just go.
I love how those 2 random girls though end up doing like better than all our crew.
Shut up.
Oh yeah,
That was my plan all along.
Ooh. It really is just this. It's a great experience, and it actually, it kind of shows how you're able to get attached to your troops, and you're able to just have a good time with a game with hardly any story. This is going to be one of the few games I could say though where it doesn't have a dick for story, but it ends up being still a fantastic game. I mean, this is one of those games where, if I didn't already own the original, I would actually probably keep this game. I might, I mean, hell, I've attempted just to keep this one and get rid of the original, because, this one's just awesome. I like the extra little bonuses they give you. And, it's quite interesting because, you know what I didn't see on the Xbox Live Marketplace? The the DLC that just includes this shit.
Yeah. Well, I never looked, so.
I don't remember ever seeing in the, XCOM, enemy unknown, here's a bunch of expansions to it. This game just came out, and it's just, it just kind of reminds me of the olden days, though. If you got an on the old generation of Xboxes and stuff, if you wanted an expansion for the game, or you'd have to wait for the Game of the Year edition or something, where it has that shit in it.
Yeah.
I think we covered most of the bases. Anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. Time to get into ratings. What do you rate this,
I would give this a solid 3 UFOs.
3 UFOs. All right, Nick gives it a 3 UFOs. I'm gonna give this. This is damn near a perfect game. This really is. I really dug the shit out of this. The only thing I could say that would have just sold it for me is if it had a solid story or whatnot. I know I said it he doesn't need, but I think it really would have sold it if they had a really good story with it. And this was a much better version than the original. I really dug the original. I'm gonna give this 4.5 alien autopsies out of 5. So it's damn near perfect. Just misses a couple beats that I'm just you guys could have used a better story, and you guys could have, for the love of God, do not stop me every 2 seconds just to say, hey, there's Meld over there. Because that drives me up the fucking wall when I'm trying to think, and all of a sudden, wait, why can't I move? Oh, stop telling me this! I know you're trying to help, but just have it there. Don't actually pull me away from the action. So that is it, everybody. Good night.